I'm Ellie. I'm kind of from Germany, but I have dual nationality, so I'm half English, half German. I'm 19, I'm actually turning 20 tomorrow, and I'm a dance student at the moment, hoping to perform and be a teacher. I was born with a facial disfigurement. It's half lipome, which is just a collection of fat, and the other one is lymphangio, and that's like bubbles filled with a liquid. And if you remove some of it, it keeps growing again. When I was first born, some doctors thought my face was just a shape, possibly because of the actual birth. And then obviously after a few days, they noticed that something was up. I needed treatment, obviously, and in Germany it's really hard to find doctors. And then my parents found a lot of people who had read about it and wanted to have a go, but never actually dealt with it before. And then my granddad from England, he sent Great Ormond Street Hospital a letter to explain my situation. And what's quite weird is that I always thought that he did like an amazing thing for me, but then when I got older, I found out that he didn't think I was perfect enough, and that's why he wanted me to go to hospital and have treatment. And I do love him with all my heart, and I know that he did love me too. But my treatment in England kind of started because I wasn't perfect enough as his grandchild. I kind of just had lip reductions, tongue reductions, facelifts. My scar now starts under this corner of my eye and it goes all the way around to the bottom of my chin. So I had 12 operations on that, and then soon I'm going to have surgery on my jaw, because my tongue was so big it kind of shaped where all my teeth are, and none of my teeth would meet. So when I would eat, I would push the food with my tongue against my upper teeth to take a bite and then kind of just munch it between my teeth. I had this one time where I woke up, and because it felt so short, I started to panic. And I was like, are they still doing the operation? And I was just lying there, and I kind of wanted to say that I was awake because I was scared that they weren't done yet because it felt so quick, but I just couldn't verbally say it. And then about half an hour later, I figured out that the operation was long gone and I was just passed out for hours and hours. This dog is called Scooby, and I was given him when I was maybe 1 year old by our neighbours, and he's very floppy now. And he was there for all of my operations, every single one of them, and yeah, he's kind of done it all with me. I think my parents dealt with the whole situation really well because they taught me not to hide away. They encouraged me to do dance and do drama from a young age, so I was always used to performing and showing myself to other people. There have been a lot of times though where I feel like my family had to compromise a lot because we spent so much money to travel to London and even just to pay for food there and everything whilst I've been in hospital. Also, because it would always be during the holidays if possible. We could never really go on holiday that much. And especially for my brother, I sometimes feel really guilty. He often just had to be in the shadow of my medical treatment. And that, yeah, can be hard. He would almost always be my little bodyguard. He would always make sure I was okay. Once we were playing outside in the garden and a boy from the village, he was shouting mean things over the fence and was kind of bullying me a little bit. And then my brother jumped over the fence and chased him down the entire street to make sure that he would go away. And in that sense, my brother is kind of always there for me, and I think really often he doesn't like to show that he loves me, but I know he does. When people ask about it, usually it takes them a while to ask about it. Children are usually the ones who ask the most upfront and the most honest, and it's really nice to have that because other people are always like so careful that it's just really awkward. And I actually really dislike it when people just like assume something. And I would much rather just talk about it and say, this is what it is. And like with the whole feeling sorry thing, like it doesn't help anyone. If someone feels sorry for you, they just elevate the way you feel in a negative way. And it just doesn't help. And then also sometimes you have this whole question of like, oh, is that person just being nice to me because of my face? When people say, oh, but you're still beautiful, and it's like, still? Or like, you're so strong for your situation. It's like, am I strong for my situation, or am I actually just strong? I do usually feel confident about myself and how I look. It does change a lot day to day though. It depends where I am and what I do and what kind of people I'm around. When I'm around a lot of people who know me very well, then I forget about it because they kind of forget about it as well. And that's really, really nice. Sometimes I even notice when I like meet new people, say if they, I don't know, saw me from the side or from behind, and then they suddenly see my face, I can see like a change of expressions on their faces, that they're almost a little bit shocked. And I think that's when I really realise that my face does look a lot different. Because I'm so used to it, I kind of often don't see it, or I feel like I don't realise how unsymmetrical my face actually is. One day, it was a Sunday morning, and I had a message on Instagram from the Undateables, the Channel 4 TV show. They were asking me whether I knew anyone who would have interest in participating in the show, kind of knowing that they probably were awkwardly asking whether I wanted to do it. So I was kind of in shock and a little bit upset about it as well. But then what was quite funny, the Saturday night I was actually on a date, and I was like, that doesn't quite work out because you're basically saying I'm undateable, although I know that I'm not. I started Project Face about a year ago, and I kind of did it for myself to figure out how I feel about my facial disfigurement. And within my degree, I quite selfishly used a solo, a research and then development project. For my solo, I was initially looking at a sensation of the photodynamic therapy I had. And when I was trying to bring myself back to that, loads of other memories came up. So the whole solo became quite a lot about how I felt on the inside and how that made my body move. And then in my development project, I kind of went away from the physical exploration of the memory, and I kind of wanted to externalize my memory of being in hospital. So I created this installation with photos I had, cuddly toys, letters and everything. And I managed to create a space where within my choices, I could give the audience to see how much they wanted or not. And I think that was really valuable because whenever you share something, it's nice that you know that you aren't forcing something onto someone, but that they also have the freedom to look more if they want. I started writing a blog just to get stuff off my chest, and I didn't really care that much about who read it, and it was kind of just nice to write it and put it out there, and then it was off your mind. And then I kind of found that it was a nice way for me to especially talk about my face and explain things, so then if people did want to know about it, they felt like they could read about it without having to ask me if they feel uncomfortable about it or something. I don't entirely know what I want to do. There's a lot of things I would love to do. On the one hand, I would love to perform, I would love to teach, I'd love to have like a proper dance career, but on the other hand, I would also love to just be a mum and like have kids and look after them and help them learn how to be in this world. And I do want to be happy, but I don't need to be happy every single day because you can't be, and I don't really care if I have regrets or not, because if you always try really hard to do everything right, you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities.